7 Levels of Wealth Explained, from broke to ultra-rich. What does it really mean to be wealthy? Is it having a stable job? $1 million? Or owning private jets and islands? The truth is, wealth isn't just one level. It's a ladder. And today, we're breaking down the 7 different levels of wealth, from struggling to survive, all the way to generational power. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand and what it takes to climb higher. In this video, we're breaking down the 7 levels of wealth, from survival, all the way to building a legacy that lasts generations. You'll learn what each level looks like, how people get stuck, and what it takes to move up. By the end, you'll not only understand where you stand, but also what your next step should be. Let's start from the very bottom. Level 1: Survival. At this level, life is all about basic survival. We're talking about covering the absolute essentials: food, rent, transportation, and staying afloat day by day. People in this stage are often living paycheck to paycheck, or even worse, they're falling behind. There's little to no savings, and even a small unexpected expense, like a medical bill or a broken phone, can create serious stress. At this level, money isn't just important, it's urgent. Every decision revolves around: can I afford this right now? Long-term goals like investing, starting a business, or building wealth feel distant, almost unrealistic. Time is directly tied to money. If you don't work, you don't earn. And because most of your energy is spent just trying to survive, it becomes very difficult to plan ahead or think strategically. This is also where financial stress can affect other areas of life: mental health, relationships, and even confidence. You might feel stuck, like no matter how hard you try, you're not moving forward. But here's something important to understand. This level is not permanent. Many people start here, and with the right decisions, discipline, and sometimes opportunity, they move up. The key focus at this stage is simple, but powerful. Create stability. That might mean finding a more reliable source of income, cutting unnecessary expenses, learning basic money management, or building even a small emergency fund. Even small progress matters here. Because once you move out of survival mode, everything else becomes possible. Level 2: Stability. At this level, things start to feel a bit more under control. You're able to pay your bills consistently. Rent is covered, food is on the table, and there's a steady source of income. That constant panic around money begins to fade, but it doesn't disappear completely. You may have a small emergency fund, maybe enough to cover a few weeks or a month of expenses. But losing your job or income would still put you in a difficult position. At this stage, many people begin to develop better financial habits. They start budgeting, tracking expenses, and becoming more aware of where their money goes. However, there's still a major limitation. You are heavily dependent on your job. Your income is active, not passive. If you stop working, the money stops too. This is also where lifestyle inflation can become a trap. As income increases, spending increases as well, keeping you stuck in the same position. The key shift at this level is moving from reacting to money to controlling it. The main goal here is build security. That means expanding your emergency fund to cover several months, reducing or eliminating high-interest debt, increasing your income through skills or side hustles, and beginning to think about the future, not just the present. This is where discipline starts to pay off. Level 3: Security. Now you're no longer just stable, you're protected. At this level, you have a solid financial cushion. Typically, you've saved enough to cover at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses, sometimes even more. Debt is either under control or completely gone. You're not constantly worried about emergencies because you're prepared for them. This creates something powerful: peace of mind. For the first time, you can breathe. You're no longer making decisions out of fear, you're making them with intention. This is also where investing usually begins. You might start putting money into stocks, retirement accounts, or even small business ideas. You're thinking long-term now. But there's still a catch. You're not fully free yet. You still rely on your job or active income to maintain your lifestyle. The goal at this level becomes independence. To get there, you need to increase your savings rate, invest consistently, build income streams outside of your job, and continue improving your financial knowledge. This is the stage where wealth building truly begins. Level for independence. This is where life starts to change in a major way. At the independence level, your assets begin working for you. Your investments, side businesses, or passive income streams can now cover most, or even all, of your basic living expenses. That means you are no longer dependent on a job to survive. You've reached what many people call financial freedom. You can choose how you spend your time. You can work if you want to, but you don't have to. This level gives you flexibility that most people never experience. However, it doesn't mean you're extremely rich. You may still live a relatively simple lifestyle, but it's fully supported by your assets. Time becomes your most valuable resource. The question shifts from, how do I make money? To, how do I want to live? The goal at this stage is growth. You focus on expanding your investments, scaling businesses or income streams, protecting your wealth, and creating more financial opportunities. This is where you move from freedom to expansion. Level 5 Wealth. At this level, money is no longer a concern, it's a tool. You have significant assets, and they generate more than enough income to support your lifestyle, and then some. We're talking about multiple income streams, large investment portfolios, real estate holdings, or successful businesses. Your wealth continues to grow, even when you're not actively working. You can afford luxury, but more importantly, you have options. You can live where you want, travel when you want, work on what you want. But with more wealth comes more responsibility. Now it's not just about making money, it's about managing risk, preserving capital, and making smart, strategic decisions. The focus shifts to multiplication. You begin thinking bigger, investing in larger opportunities, partnering with others, and building systems that generate even more wealth. This level opens the door to something greater than personal success. Level 6 Abundance. Now we're entering a completely different scale. At the abundance level, your wealth is massive. You're not just comfortable, you're influential. You can fund large projects, invest in major companies, and support initiatives that impact thousands, or even millions, of people. At this level, money becomes a form of power. You can start foundations, support communities, invest in innovation, and help others build wealth as well. Giving often becomes a central focus. Not because you have to, but because you can. Your decisions can shape industries, create jobs, and change lives. The goal here becomes legacy. You start asking, what impact will I leave behind? Level 7 Legacy. This is the highest level of wealth. At this stage, your money outlives you. You've built systems, structures, and assets that continue to grow and provide value for generations. This could mean family wealth passed down through generations, foundations that continue your mission, or businesses that outlast your lifetime. Your influence extends far beyond your personal life. It reaches into the future. At this level, it's no longer about consumption or lifestyle. It's about impact and permanence. You're thinking in decades, even centuries. So where are you right now? Are you focused on survival, or building toward independence? Wherever you are, remember this. Every level is a step forward. Wealth isn't built overnight. It's built through consistent actions, smart decisions, and patience. The most important thing is progress. Because the difference between where you are now and where you want to be is simply the steps you take next. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and start your journey to the next level. See you in the next one.